Okay. Good afternoon, all. Thank you all so much for joining us. For those of you all who are online and for those of you who are on the call, I am going to read our LRCA housekeeping rules. During question periods, please raise your hand, and we will provide you an opportunity to ask a question. Please do not unmute yourself and just start talking. That creates a lot of confusion. So please don't do that. We want to keep, of course, our comments brief and focused. And please mute yourself to avoid background noise. We'll have 30 seconds to ask a question. We want to limit, one question per person. If you have additional questions, you can place them in the chat. I think I've said that one. Of course, we won't have any shouting or inappropriate language on our calls. We have not in the past, and I don't expect that we will have that going forward. Thank you, Angie. So we're going to move right into the agenda. Just a couple, well, first let's have Reverend Paul do the invocation.
Thank you, President Rogers. God, we thank you so much for how you have blessed us and how you have kept us from all harm and danger. We thank you even for your presence even right now. Now, Father God, as we proceed in this meeting tonight, we ask that you give us a spirit of discussion and be able to reason together, not to be disagreeable, but to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of making sure we're doing and saying what's in the best interest of our community. Now, God, we ask that you bless all the bereaved families and those who are suffering through all types of hardships, that you continue to give them hope, peace, and joy. This is our desire. This is our plea. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Paul. Just a couple of announcements. This actually will probably not be meeting until our adjournment time of 8:45. And all things happen for a reason. Our speaker, which was going to be, we were going to be providing an update with UDC Bacchus expansion. For those of you all know that that is located right there on South Dakota Avenue. They have an expansion and we wanted them to update the community. However, they were unable to make it to this meeting, and hopefully Miss Juanita Gray, she was actually going to join us on this meeting.
I'm here, Miss Rogers.
Okay, Miss Gray.
Hi, I'm on my phone. I apologize. I'm driving, so I have to be on my phone.
Oh, that's okay. We hoped, I'm going to respond to your email, and I know you're not going to present anything today, but we do hope to have you at our June meeting. June will be our last meeting before we break for the summer. So we definitely would like an update on that site at our June meeting, but I will respond. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invite. And I look forward to learning more about Lamond-Riggs Community Association. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, so we, again, we will not have a speaker. We will allow a little bit more time, a minute or so for, our ANC commissioners and the mayor's office and the council office. So we'll move the agenda along. We're going to start actually with the officers' reports. Do we have anyone from MPD on the call? Okay, we will move on to the, I try to do the officers so that they can get back out there and, serve and protect us. So we'll move on to the minutes. We did determine that there is a correction in the minutes that's written in the May 2022 newsletter. And the correction is actually bullet point number 5. We're on page 3. which is where our minutes are always printed. If you go down to the 5th bullet where it has ending balance, the ending balance in the newsletter is actually $9,447.31. And the corrected amount is $9,947.31. So we do want to note that correction to the minutes. So I would like to get a motion to accept the minutes as they have just been the amended version, as I just mentioned. Again, that is bullet point 5 on page 3 in our newsletter. The correct ending balance is $9,947.31. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as just amended?
A motion to accept the minutes, it's just amended.
I second.
All right, so we got a first and a second. All in favor, can we unmute everyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Thank you. Okay, you can actually leave them unmuted because we're going to move on now to our treasurer's report. Is Audrey on? Hi,
Hey.
Audrey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present the LRCA Treasurer's Report for May 2nd, 2022. The beginning balance is $9,947.31. Deposits included $1,000 in scholarships and $194.82 in membership dues, for a total deposit of $1,994.82. There was one expense for $274.34. That was our newsletter expense, for a total expense of $274.34. Our ending balance is $10,867.79. Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report as just reported by our treasurer, Audrey Walker?
I put the motion on the floor to accept the treasury report submitted by Audrey.
Second.
All right. So we got a first and a second. Please unmute everyone. So it's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion passes. We'll accept the treasurer's report. Thank you so much, Audrey, as just reported by Audrey Walker, our treasurer. Okay, the next thing is our budget. At the last meeting, we presented our budget. It was put in the chat. We provided contact information for any member, paid member. If you paid your dues, then you can, I would like for you to vote on this budget. Does anyone have any questions on? Does anyone have any questions on the budget? We've given people like a month to look at the budget, the paid members to look at the budget. So we have no comments or on the budget. Can I get a motion to pass the budget as it was presented at our April meeting?
Motion to pass the budget.
Second.
Okay, so if you could unmute everyone, but if you are a paid member, you can, vote on this budget. So it's been moved in second. All in favor, all paid members in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion passes by the paid members of LRCA to pass the budget as it was presented at our April meeting. Thank you all so much. Okay, we're moving through this agenda. And again, this meeting may be over sooner. And again, I wanted to mention it actually works out for us because we have a special executive board meeting that we have to attend after this meeting. We have a couple of exciting events coming up, one being, and Reverend Mays will talk on that a little later with her committee report, but we have Mother's Day tea that will happen this Friday at the Riggs LaSalle Rec Center from 11 to 1, and you do need to RSVP if you plan to attend. We had put in the newsletter, there's an email set up that you could email your RSVP to, and that is mothers@lrcadc.org, or you can dial the phone number that is on the front of our newsletter, which is 202-838-6058. Let me repeat that, 202-838-6058. So we have that coming up. We also have candidates forum. We're doing the mayoral candidates forum on Monday, May 9th, and we'll be doing the Ward 5 candidates forum on Tuesday, May 10th. We have actually teamed up with a neighboring organization, which is the North Michigan Park. Mimi, can you mute yourself? Hello? Okay.
I am muted.
Okay, so we're teaming up with the North Michigan Park Civic Association, which is a neighboring association, to put on this forum. That information was in the newsletter as well, and you can always go to our website, lrcadc.org, for additional information. So yeah. Let's see, moving on down, we're gonna now have updates from elected officials, and I'm gonna go in the order in which, is Anthony Mitchell on the line from the mayor's office?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Hi, Anthony, how are you?
Hey, always a pleasure to see you.
Yes, yes.
So first of all, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying the lovely weather we've been having, as well as Decision Day for those of us who are following that, which is helping our young people find a college for them to go to after their time in high school. So very excited to be with you all this evening. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Anthony Mitchell. I serve as the Ward 4 liaison for the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. I want to start by saying thank you for inviting us to the Earth Day cleanup, which seems so long ago, but it was only just a little over a week ago. Planted some nice flowers in front of the rec center and had a good time with some of the residents. So thank you so much for inviting us, President Rogers. I want to also thank a number of you came out to the Ward 4 events we had earlier this past weekend, Saturday to be specific, for the Ward 4 meet and greet over at Raymond Rec. We had a great time, food, games, fun for the kids. Mayor Bowser stopped by for a little bit and subsequently had a ribbon cutting for an affordable housing units that opened up in Spring Flats right down on 10th and Spring Road. So it was really good to see some of you all out there for that as well. We didn't get a chance to make it to Porch Fest. Mayor Bowser had some other things going on, but it was nice seeing some of the residents out there, myself, and getting to talk and hear some of the concerns that you all have. So that was really great. I do want to share briefly just a couple things. Firstly, as you all know, it's still budget season. Council has not yet approved the budget, but if you want to weigh in on the budget that the mayor has proposed to council, you can definitely reach out to your council member to let them know. All the budget oversight hearings have already happened, so unfortunately there's no chance to give testimony per agency, but you can always reach out to the council member to share information that you have for that. I will also be sharing the Ward 4 one pages, so you can see specific investments that the mayor is making in Ward 4, as well as you can see the full budget that she presented to council and highlights at budget.dc.gov, and you can see that by ward, by specific issue areas, so public safety or education and things like that as well. As you all may have seen earlier today, Mayor Bowser did an announcement of grant funding for a lot of our businesses, including initial investment funding for them. And we're very, very excited to be seeing that, you know, dollars are coming back to the district in ways that businesses can also take advantage of. And I will be connecting with Edward Washington to see how we can get some of our folks in Riggs Park and Lamond to get some of those funding as well. But I just want to let you all know that those things are happening. You all may have seen over the past week that Mayor Bowser and Chief Conti announced the Violent Crime Impact Team, or VCIT, which is a collaborative effort between local and federal partners to remove illegal firearms from the community and apprehend armed criminals. That includes FBI, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigations, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm Agency, and the Drug Enforcement Agency, to kind of tamp down a lot of what we're seeing in terms of violent crime and removing some of these guns off the street. As you all already know, we've been working on this for some time now. This is just a codification or official announcement of partnerships with federal agents, but being that we have a lot of federal agencies here, we always partner with them, especially on large initiatives like this. So just wanted to let folks know that was happening, as well as Mayor Bowser and Deputy Mayor Paul Kine announced the week before last that 43 nonprofit youth servant organizations have been awarded a total of $3.57 million in grants for Summer Strong 2020, which is a grant competition from our Office of Out of School Time Grants and Youth Outcomes, which is OST office. These funds will support more than 2,700 young people ages 5 through 18 years old with access to summer programming. And that's in conjunction with DPR programming and other resources that we're providing to our young people to make sure that while they're out of school, they're getting all these other opportunities that can, we hear a lot of time that idle mind is the devil workshop. So we want to try and minimize that as much as possible for our young people in terms of them being idle and not having opportunities for them to engage. So with that, I only have a couple seconds left in terms of my remarks. So I'm going to stop there and take any questions if folks have any.
Do we have any questions? Angie, who's manning the chat? Is that Tish? Tish, are you manning the chat?
I can, yes.
Great. Okay. It doesn't look like we have anything.
We actually have Katie.
I have a question. Hello?
Hey, Commissioner Huff.
Hey, so when you talk about additional programs, because we know that DPR programs fill up fairly quickly, especially for, I know we have the Little Explorers over at Riggs LaSalle. I bet it's already filled.
That's right.
So what do you have? Because I have grandchildren that are 5.
Yeah.
And so what other programs are available for that age group besides the DPR? Is there something in writing or somewhere to? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I can drop that information in the chat and send you something offline. But the one of them off the top of my head is the one that I just announced, which is the Summer Strong 2020 grant, which is given to nonprofits and community-based organizations like Boys and Girls Club and all kind of people who are already having summer programming and folks who are trying to expand their summer programming to include more young people ages 5 and 18 years old. But I can send you I don't want to take too much time, but I can send you a full listing so you can have the list of opportunities that are available.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. So I see Mr. Roberts' hand. So if you raise your hand, if you have a question, we can call on you. Go ahead, Mr. Robert.
Yes.
Mr. Oliver.
Anthony, it's good that there's a partnership between the DC police and the federal bureaus, but how does that impact specifically crime that is done by youth, some of whom are well under 18? Is there anything specific that addresses that and the implications in terms of, I guess, sentencing and so forth?
Yes, sir. So I want to make two quick distinctions. What I mentioned in terms of the Violent Crime Impact Team, the VCIT, that is specifically towards firearms and armed criminal activity, right? If that includes young people who are using firearms, or like say armed robbery, or we've seen a number of carjackings happen throughout the district, those type of things. If young people are involved in that, then they will fall under the Violent Crime Impact Team. Specifically, MPD, I know, is doing a number of outreach specifically to young people outside of the VCIT. And then also I wanted to mention
It don't
that,
taste bad. It ain't great. How many
Hello,
onions did they have?
hello. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Angie, you need to have your hand on me for the mute, but go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
And secondly, I wanted to mention, I just lost my second point. That threw me off.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But he was asking about young people specifically, but what I mentioned in terms of VCIT, I just thought of it. In terms of sentencing, that is something that is outside of the purview of our office specifically in the executive branch. Sentencing would fall under legislative and even judicial in terms of sentencing and processing. And so one of the things that I'm sure you probably already heard is that we have been advocating, and Mayor Bowser has been a fierce advocate for ensuring that if folks are getting processed, that they do have, one, due process, but two, that it is followed up on, because a lot of people, we've heard from a number of residents that, if they get locked up, they're back on the streets because we have a court system that has yet to be fully enacted and fully come back from the regulations imposed during the pandemic. So I hear you, I see you, and I'm happy to connect offline because I know I've taken so much time already.
No problem. Any other questions for Anthony? Okay, if so, you can put them in the chat. And there's been a change in, let's see, Katie is here. Tish, thank you so much for volunteering to read the chat. But Katie is here, and Katie is a part of our communications committee. So she will read the chat. All right, so moving on. I guess I do have an announcement to make for Councilwoman Lewis George's office. Her office has decided that they will attend only ANC meetings. I know that there's a staffing. She's looking to hire a few people, and they I think have decided that it is just a better use of the time to not try to attend 20 different meetings a month. They will report out at the ANC meeting every month. We actually always include in our newsletter a legislative update from Council Member Lewis George's office. So I am just going to, for those who may not have seen our newsletter, I'm just going to read a couple of the things that she has. She has full expansion of DC's private sector paid leave program to 12 weeks for all leave types on October 1st, including allowing retroactive benefits to be paid in October for leave taken July through September, and reducing contribution tax rate to 0.27% for businesses starting in July. There's a creation of a new 2-week paid medical leave for DC government workers, a permanent expansion of the school year intern program that provides employment to 1,000 DC students. And of course, she encourages all of us to join her email list so that you could get her newsletter. So we are going to move on. We're going to move to our our ANC commissioners. Allison Brooks, who is 4B08 and the chair of 4B, could not be with us tonight as she has a personal issue. So she wanted you all to know that if you text or message her today, that you probably will not get a response. She is well, again, and she's just dealing with a personal issue today. Let's see, Allison, is Jeff Brongerman on the line? Is LaRoya Huff? You're up.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Madam President. So as it relates to 4B09, there are 2 alleys that are being done. One is in the 700 block of Nicholson at Bates Kennedy and Kensington. There's also the 5th Street, 400 block of Riggs and 500 block of Nicholson that are being done. So we're happy about that. That's much needed. And I know that last month I talked about the Walmart, the accident we had after the grand opening of the Chick-fil-A. So I've been asked to do a letter, and I'll probably ask LRCA to support the resolution to extend that median, take away immediately those parking spaces. So they're looking for short, intermediate, and long-term solutions. And so that is on the purview to come up. One thing I've noticed on Eastern Avenue, long-standing, we do finally have a sign that monitors how fast you're going in the 5800 block of Eastern. There will be more traffic investigation to occur. The ask will more than likely be some sort of stoppage at 8th and Eastern Avenue and some street markings. So I will be reaching out to residents for that. And lastly, on 4th Street, near the library, there was some conversation over a year ago about the speeding of cars down that street. So right now it's a 2-way. The residents close to the Children's Place do not want a speed bump. The residents in the lower part want a speed bump. That's where we have the children. And so that will be put forth for the next meeting and the end of this month. So if you have any other things that need to be on the radar, please, of course, reach out. That's pretty much it for now. There was also the other thing I mentioned last month that didn't appear, but on Oneida in the 600 block, there have been reports of a resident who's renting, fixing and repairing cars, which impacts the traffic. And if you're coming off of Eastern Avenue, you know, I've witnessed it where tires are kind of hanging out the way residents aren't able to park. And so we'll be taking a look at that. MPD was gracious enough to come out, give a warning. And so that is on the radar, and neighbors would like to have residential parking. So that's pretty much it for me, other than 3rd Street. Allison and I will kind of revisit the roundabout on 3rd and 2nd Street. There's nothing to stop the traffic. And of course, with the Chick-fil-A, the Walmart, the public space storage, extra space storage, I'm sorry, that 2nd, 3rd Street merger, there's nothing raised. And former President Yushina Evans had asked for it. I'm going to revisit and insist and get some folks behind me, because it's just a catastrophe waiting to happen. So I'd like the community to weigh in with me and support me on that. And of course, anything else that you're looking to see and have. And thank you so much.
Okay, do we have any questions for Commissioner Huff? Okay.
I have one.
Okay. Miss Edwards? Miss Edwards? Angie, can you unmute her? I think she's the 635 number. Miss Edwards, can you unmute yourself? I know you muted yourself when you came on.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
I
Oh,
want to know if anybody is planning to do anything about the traffic, about the speeding, not the traffic, on Riggs Road, the 600 block. They are driving down here at least 60 miles an hour. And there's no good sign, speed limit sign. It's on a post behind a tree. And the speed limit here is supposed to be 25 miles an hour, while on the Maryland side it's 35. So we really need something to be done because we don't have any type of control. They don't have a trap, a speed trap or anything. And I feel that they should put a sign, put the wires across Riggs Road at Eastern Avenue with the speed limit up, and so that they can slow down. And that the police come out sometimes and patrol Riggs Road, the 600 block. Excuse me.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Edwards, for your comment. One of our neighbors, Brian, I can't remember Brian's last name, he's since moved, was very adamant, as well as Miss Mack, who's a block captain. So there was a resolution. We need to probably go back and revisit. And as you notice at that corner, that those flexi posts were all down. And so I will include that, revisit that, have DDOT come out, talk to residents, their traffic calming team, Miss Connie Wheeler, I'll have them come out. They're supposed to come out. They talked to Alice and I about 3rd Street. Had a really good meeting over the phone. Nothing happened yet. So yes, ma'am, we will continue because of course we hadn't gotten to see when the resolution was done or the study was done when Brian had done it because we had hit with COVID. So you really couldn't judge it. But of course, now that things are opening up, I agree. People have to cross the street safely and drive at the appropriate speed limits. And even if we have the speed camera, you know, I think it's more appropriate on that street than it is at these stop signs that we've seen in other communities such as Kansas and North Capitol to have that,
Yes, it is.
be a deterrent to speeders, right? I watch the cars fly all the time too. In fact, there was just an accident last week. So, you know, the accidents keep occurring, the traffic's going to be increasing, and we have more things here. We have more people, the playgrounds are open. So yes, ma'am, I will reach out to DDOT and let's do a walk. I'll need you on that, Anthony, with me to coordinate
I
and do a
appreciate that.
walk. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Edwards. Okay, we're going on down the ANC list. Is Gordon Fletcher on? Is Damian McDuffie on? Okay, so we're moving right through. We'll be off early. You all will be able to get out and enjoy this beautiful day that we had today. We do have, I see that Mr. Oliver on to give us a library update, and he will be followed by Howard Burnett, which is from the Lamond-Riggs Boys and Girls Club Recreation Reunion, about the big community event that's happening in our neighborhood on May 14th. And then followed by Edwin Washington, who is our executive director of our Parks Main Street. In that order, Mr. Oliver.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll make this quick, not to tie up everybody's time and evening. The first I'd like to say is that in terms of the Lamond-Riggs Library branch completion, if everything holds, we can do it by, or I should say DCPL can do it probably by the end of June, if not earlier. Some of the issues that they have are, as people have said, supply chain. If you look out at what's going on at the library right now, they are hanging the metal screening outside. And if you notice that there are gaps there, the gaps are there is because not everything is there just yet. So they're putting up what they can. And as pieces come in, they put it up. So they're working hard to make the deadlines that have been set, but they can only work with the material as it comes in. Secondly, in terms of the naming of the library, the Board of Trustees will meet on May the 25th to make the announcement as to whom the library will be named after. Regardless of who is selected, when the library is completed, they will not be ready to have a name out there then. The reason being is that one, the decision hasn't been made yet, and two, it's going to take some time to fabricate whomever name is going to be there. So I'm not sure how long after the library opens that the name will be up, but the winner's name will certainly go up. It just will not be there during the opening of the library. But I just wanted to get that word out, that it's not an oversight. It's just a matter of getting the supplies in on time. Next thing is what you already have in your newsletter, is the library is hosting, along with the DC Department of Small and Local Businesses and the Department of Insurance and Banking, basically a seminar that is covering how to teach people businesses, how to get involved in business and so forth. So that's very important. The time for that is between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. On May the 4th. So I would advise anyone who is interested in that to definitely get involved. And in your newsletter, I believe it's on page 2, it reads 2022 DC Business Expo, Resources for Financial Success, Wednesday, May 4th from 11 to 6 p.m. So you have it there. And in addition, I released the latest copy of the Beyond Words, which also lists that very same event. So please take advantage of that if you can. Lastly, let me see what I have here. No, I think I've covered everything. So if there are any questions, Barbara, if you would allow me, I can take them. If not, we can go on to the next individual.
Sure. Any questions for Mr. Oliver regarding the library?
Okay, that's fantastic. One last thing that I did skip, I'm sorry. A couple of weeks ago, the library had a space naming policy. That had nothing to do with specifically naming Lamond-Riggs, but rather how they would honor those who, say for instance, they wanted to name a auditorium after, such as what happened with Bezos or donors. That meeting, sadly, despite the advertising, was not very well attended. There was a lot of good discussion. They will have other meetings in the future, but if you feel that you have anything to say or comments as about how library assets are named in the future, you should participate in this. And the next time a meeting is scheduled, I will be sure to let everybody know. And that is it for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oliver. Okay, Mr. Burnett, you're up.
Hey, thank you, President Rogers. And first, I'd like to, on behalf of our committee, I would like to thank the Citizens Association members and president and officers for providing this opportunity for us to bring the update regarding our May 14 event. We're excited. This is the last update at 12 o'clock noon. We will start our program in the Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center to honor and recognize more than 60 years of service to youth in the community. I know my parents moved on Oneida Street in 1960. I started playing Little League football, and it certainly led to so many of us the successful lives that we had through the community and through all of the adults and coaches, cheerleader sponsors, supporters in the area, which led to the success of all of our current adults. And we want to honor that legacy that was experienced by so many young people who are now successful adults. And we want to look forward to future years of supporting our youth. We will have many activities spread out on the field at Riggs LaSalle for youth and families. We'll have hot dogs, hamburgers. Chick-fil-A in the area has committed to donations. We'll have beverages, many rides for youth, just a festive occasion of celebration of the Lamond-Riggs community and the success of the many children, youth, and adults who have come through the Recreation Center and the Boys and Girls Club. So we look forward to all joining us May 14 at 12 o'clock p.m. We have some wonderful plaques that will be on display recognizing families, coaches, cheerleaders, sponsors, all of those that we could recall over the more than 60 years that have provided for the many successes that all of us have experienced. So we're looking forward to the opportunity. There'll be just some wonderful reunions of many adults who still live in the community and those who have moved away. We'll have a guest speaker who is a notable adult in the entertainment area and television area, who will be our guest speaker for the event, who grew up in the community, and will certainly have a great time on that day. So we hope that you can join us May 14 at 12 o'clock p.m. And our proceeds from this event will go to the Lamond-Riggs Citizens Association to support youth programming and the Friends of Riggs LaSalle, which is the recreation center. So thank you, Barbara, and we look forward to seeing everyone on that date, and you can tell all to join.
That's right. Thank you so much, Mr. Burnett. So you all plan to come out. We're praying for good weather, and it is going to be a wonderful event. Bring the kids, and we're going to have some fun. Thank you.
There's a question in the chat asking where the Boys and Girls Club is.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, you know, we're using the facility right at Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center. So the old Boys and Girls Club was in a church up off of New Hampshire Avenue, and then we started using the Recreation Center as a meeting place.
Thank you. Yes, so the event is going to be at the Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center, which is 501 Riggs Road. So yeah, that's where it'll be. It's from 12 noon to 4 p.m.
I'll put it in the chat as a reminder. Thank you.
Okay, great, great, great. Thank you so much. Next. Is Edwin on?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Edwin.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Rogers. This month is Small Business Month, DC Small Business Month, as well as this week is DC Small Business Week, and then National Small Business Week. It's also Asian and Pacific Islander month. And so what the Parks Main Street is doing in support of this and in honor is we have a few campaigns and continuing events that we're doing. First, throughout the month, and I want to thank some citizens, residents, ANC Commissioner, and other leaders who have agreed to do a video. Go to the local businesses that are within the Parks Main Street boundaries. That would be Riggs Road, where the main businesses are, like a Culture Coffee, 2 Riggs Liquors, insurance company, a Trophy Insurance, and the cleaners. Also, we've got Hunan Shrimp, Ramdas Pharmacy, others that are along the way, and over in Manor Park. And so certainly want to thank folks who agreed to do that. We also are looking for other residents and INC commissioners and Lamond-Riggs officials who'd be willing to do a video, a short video, just a minute, talking about supporting and why folks should support small local businesses, in particular the businesses that you are at that particular moment. I'll put my information in the chat for anyone that wants to do that. We look forward to that. Also, we kicked off in collaboration with Culture Coffee 2 and with the Divine podcast. The Sunday Fun Days did start yesterday and May 1. The weather kind of dampened the number of outside vendors, but this will be each Sunday from 12 to 4 throughout the month of May, and then we'll look to see when that we continue that. It's going to be featuring local businesses, local makers, and other entrepreneurs, artists. There'll be a chef. The chef wasn't able to make it this weekend, however, but they will be going forward for brunch. And then also, we're also having some of the businesses do a little short video themselves about their business, how they got started, why they're involved in what they're doing, either as a family endeavor or as certainly a straight entrepreneur. So we'll be doing that throughout the month in different quarters. We also, since we do have 3 businesses that are Asian or Pacific Islander, we will be highlighting those 3 businesses throughout the month. That would be the Riggs Liquor Store, also the Riggs Cleaners and Hunan Shrimp. Each of them has been around more than 20 years, at least that particular establishment. I know that Riggs Liquor has been there 50, 60 years. Certainly, John, you took it over about 20 years ago or so. And then, of course, the new folks that are at the Cleaners. And then Hunan Shrimp has been around there for some time. We've been trying to work with them in terms of upgrading some of their facade and the like. We'll continue to do that. And then we'll also be participating in a scavenger hunt with the Coalition for Nonprofit Housing and Economic Development. That's going to be starting the 16th through the 31st. We're going to be doing somewhat of a legacy tour. That is those businesses that are 15 years or more in the Riggs Park and Manor Park area. And there's a whole lot over in the Manor Park area. And so we'll be doing that throughout the end of the month. And I would like to say Hellbender's Beer certainly has received their new license. Some of you may know they've been closed since the 18th of March. There are still a few more things that ABRA needs from them. So we'll just kind of stay tuned for that announcement in terms of actually when it will be back open. But it's coming soon. There has been a new license. And also I want to co-sign what Mr. Oliver said in terms of the event coming up May 4th. And also the Anthony Mitchell certainly be working with you on those different grants coming out that we're aware of and work with others working on the Bridge Fund announcement, Great Streets announcements. So that's what's happening. I'll put my information in the chat, and certainly looking for those who want to support Small Business Month, Small Business Week by doing a video or so. You can reach back out to me and I'll give you the parameters we're looking for. Thank you so much, President Rogers.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Any questions for Edwin? And for those of you that are on the phone, he is the Executive Director of the Parks Main Street. Any questions in the chat?
Asking if you have any information about the new doctor's office coming to the neighborhood.
It is coming. I think it is. I don't have all the most up to date, but that is coming. They'll be over off of Galloway Street there. It is woman owned, and which is great always. And but I can provide more information as we go. But that'll be coming soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I do have an announcement about the Lamond Action Group. That is they're actually a group under LRCA, but they are having elections this year. And so just wanted to put that out there. If you're on the Lamond side and you want to get involved, we're encouraging people to get involved. You can reach out. Again, it's the Lamond Action Group. They are having elections this year. We also have scholarships, but we will have our chair, Rabiha, give an update. So we're really almost done. We just want to hear from some of LRCA committees. Let's see, let's start with.
Barbara, I have a question. What does the Lamond Action Group do differently than LRCA?
Well, of course, they're on a smaller scale, but I think they cover more so on the Lamond side, which is on the other side of New Hampshire. I'm not really sure what their boundaries are, but I know some of the current members actually live on, what is that street? On Sligo Mill Road. Vicky?
Yeah, I can speak up a little bit about it. Because I'm currently serving as the quarterly president for the organization.
Great.
So we are, as she said, we are on the other side of New Hampshire. So between New Hampshire and heading over towards Kansas, and between Peabody and Chilham and Eastern.
Okay.
And Mr. Blanton put in the information as well. So we're a smaller community, but we're active. We have community events and, including cleanup and holiday events as well. So we definitely work in consort with the larger LRCA, but we do have individual community events as well. So we would love and welcome more involvement on this side.
Yes. So can you all put in the chat, maybe if we have some members on here that live on the Lamond side, can you all maybe put something in the chat where they can reach out to you to, if they want to join?
I'll put my email address in here as well.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Vicky, for coming on.
No problem.
All right. So next.
Hey, Barbara, just one comment. So that side, I've been told, will be also the 4B10 for the new commission area. So it is further in the Lamond side, this new SMD. Thank you.
That's correct. Sure. All right, we're going to move on to our committee updates. They're just going to take a couple of minutes to tell you maybe what is going on with their committee. Tish, did you have a committee update for bylaws?
Hello, LRCA community. Just wanted to say that we had our last meeting until we start working for the summer on April 26th. We've been working with DC Pro Bono, just like I mentioned last month, just trying to figure out what we can do and what we can't do in the confines of being 501c3 and some of our new normal activities such as Zoom meetings and PayPal and things of that nature. So our next meeting, we've been given to some to-dos to go away with and reconvene in later May. And then, like we said before, we'll give the information out to individuals to look at when we come back in October, and then we'll make our vote, hopefully. That's it for me. Thanks.
Do you have an update for the Friends of? Anything for the Friends of?
Oh, actually, sure. I just actually spoke with Director of the Rec, Sherlita Settles, today. We got some great news. They've been working extensively on the HVAC. That should be ready for the summer. It's been hot, so hopefully we'll be cool. This summer, they got the new stove in. They needed a new stove. These were some of the requests that we put in our budget letter to the Budget Committee and DGS and the DPR group that is chaired by Councilmember Trayon White. So we've been getting a few of these items checked off, so that's good. And we will have tent representation. Some of the members of the board, Robert Oliver and the like, will be manning the tent for the May 14th event. I will not be able to make it, I'm sorry to say, but it will be manned and there'll be a representation from the Friends of. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Tish. Reverend Mays. Is Reverend Mays on? Okay, we'll come back to Reverend.
I'm on.
Okay, great, great. And Reverend Mays is the chair of our senior committee.
I think the president spoke in my behalf earlier as we started and told you and reminded you of the Mother's Day tea, which is this Friday coming from 10 to, from 11 to 1 at the rec center in the gym. We expect to have a grand and a wonderful time. We have done a lot of planning and come up with a lot of things I'm sure you'll be excited about. And we expect to see as many senior mothers, we call them senior queens, there.
Yeah.
And hopefully that you all are calling into the number and registering so we'll know how many to expect. So we will be able to accommodate all of you all. The number again is 202-838-6058. Please, please register before or by Wednesday. After Wednesday, you are too late. We're looking forward to seeing all of you.
Yes, thank you so much, Reverend Mays. I've been talking to Reverend Mays and she's very excited and very nervous. And I'm like, everything is going to work out as it always does. Okay, let's see. Rabiha. Is Rabiha on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, Rabiha is our chair of our scholarship committee.
Nothing really to report other than the fact that the deadline for the applications have been extended to May 10th. Right after that, we're going to be reviewing and looking at these and rating them. And we still do need and welcome volunteers to assist with that. So I do have one volunteer and we need as many as possible so that we can expeditiously turn these around. Please do. And if you are interested, please send an email. I'll put the email in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rabiha. And for those of you all who may be new to the call, we give away, we give away 4 $1,000 scholarships. We have the information up on our website, the application along with a flyer. So please, if you have a young person or you know a young person in your neighborhood, on your street, please have them to go to our website, lrcadc.org, and apply. We would love to get 4 applicants. I think we have at least 2 now, maybe 3. So please spread the word. We want to, of course, support our young people that are going off to school. Next, we have Danielle. Danielle is the chair of our health committee.
Good evening, everyone. So I wanted to share with you that May is National Stroke Awareness Month, as well as National Blood Pressure Awareness Month. And lastly, there are many awareness months, but I wanted to highlight the ones that focus on health. And so May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. And as we think about the first one that I mentioned, which is National Stroke Awareness Month, you will often hear of the word and the acronym FAST. And FAST means that when you are identifying a stroke, you first want to look at a facial weakness. The second of the A in the acronym is arm, and then a weakness there. The S is for slurred speech, and then T is for time. So when a person is experiencing a stroke, time is of the essence. And so with that being said, I just want to make sure that people are aware of that, and also preventive measures for both blood pressure awareness and mental health the importance of a healthy eating and exercise and strategies to cope with stress. They're all critical and across the board for both our physical as well as our mental health. With that being said, we still want to encourage all community members to join us during our Saturday morning walks. The upcoming this weekend is Mother's Day, so we won't necessarily have the walk this weekend, but starting next Saturday, we're changing the time to 10 a.m. to allow for more people to sleep in if you'd like, but hopefully you will be able to join us. Our goal is to just encourage all residents to get out and move to both increase our physical and mental health. If you have any questions and if you would like to join the health committee, we are still looking for members. Please contact me. I will put my LRCA email in the chat, but I am just encouraged that we will have participation throughout the community. And then I just wanted to also put a plug that in soon to come, we are working on the LRCA merch so that we'll be able to have, be able to purchase shirts and mugs and other items that promote our community and also will serve as a fundraiser. Thanks, everyone. And let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Any questions for Danielle? Danielle, if you could put your contact information in the chat too, that would be great.
All
right,
no problem.
So let's see, Reverend Paul, did you have an update for the bereavement, or did Heather have an update for the membership committee?
There was just a question asking where the health group walks from. What is the meeting place?
Sure. So we meet at the playground in front on Nicholson. So it's the community center and then it's the playground on Nicholson, and that's our meeting place.
Great. Reverend Paul, did you have an update from the bereavement committee? Heather, did you have an update from the membership committee?
I do not. Thank you.
You're welcome. Am I leaving anyone out? Okay, it's 8:03. Did anyone else have any other questions before we adjourn? Again, I thank you all so much. I thank those who have emailed and called and really appreciate the positive energy here at our meetings and the great work that LRCA board members continue to do. We couldn't do this without your support, so we want to just say thank you all so much for your support. So if we don't have anything else, we will adjourn, and we actually have a special executive board meeting. So again, thank you all and good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.